Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at a very windy Clarence Park, where the Saints gone down to a 2-1 National League South defeat to fellow strugglers Welling United. Simple question to start with, Ian. Did we deserve any more than the 2-1 defeat, do you think?
I don't think so, David. I felt, if we get a draw out of it, it would have been a bonus. But I didn't think we really started the first. They could have scored after 30 seconds again, couldn't they, with one ball over the top? We didn't deal with it. I didn't think we really got to grips with some of the shape that they played, and when we got in some really good areas in the first half, especially in the wide areas, I didn't think our decision making or our final pass was good enough, and we kept giving the ball away, and then they kept hitting us on the counter attack. And second half, I felt we stepped it up. I thought we was on the front foot more. We were better, but again, we got in some fabulous areas, and that final decision or final pass or final cross or final shot wasn't up to the level of what it should be at this level, and we've come away with a 2-1 defeat, which hurts a little bit because we certainly got in some really good areas, but we just wasn't good enough, I didn't think.
More often than not this season, we've kicked up the slope in the first half. Today we went down the slope, but we were playing into that wind and Welling with it behind them. That was their best half, and our best half was with a wind to our backs. Do you think it really was that big a factor?
I think it was today, yeah. I don't think we appreciate how windy it was out there, but again, we can't take the wind into consideration in terms of playing up or down the slope. When we get in areas in their 18-yard box, we've got to put crosses across the face of the goal. We've not done that. We've got good areas to get shots away. We've not done that, and we've not attacked the ball well on some of the set pieces, because we've had probably 5 or 6 really good set pieces in good areas, and the quality of the ball wasn't bad, but we just never got people across the face of the goal. So we're going to have to go and work again on these stuff, because it seems like it goes in one ear and out the other, and that's a worry at times, because we've got to be brighter than what we are. I can't fault the players' commitment and work rate, and they tried to get something out of the game, but I feel we were just a little bit naive on some really big decisions, and when we should squeeze and when we should drop, and I think we've been unlucky with the second goal. Although they've travelled a long way with the ball, and we never really went and put any pressure on the ball. Just took a wicked deflection off Michael Clark and obviously wrong-footed Dean, but again, he's travelled from a long way, and you've just showed me the highlights. He's travelled a lot longer than I expected he had.
Our goal came courtesy of an error by them, and off the mic we spoke about it. Up the front, there wasn't really a partnership there. We saw last week Joe and Jefferson struggle to make a partnership. Is it because we're not getting the ball up to them often enough, or just they're not having enough time together, or what?
I don't know. I don't think it's that we're not getting the ball up to them early enough. I think we're doing that on a regular basis. It's just them getting the continuity that we're looking for, and it's just, if we haven't got good possession of the ball, we're always under pressure to put balls into them. It's going to be tough, but you've got to go and work extremely hard to try and get hold of the ball first and foremost. And when you've done that, it's about having a picture in your head, what you're going to see, what you're going to do next. And I don't see a picture at times in terms of when the ball goes to them. Do they actually know what they're going to do in terms of where they're going to lay it and where they're going to spin, or where they're going to get twist and turn and get a shot away? And I think in that second half, we must have got in 4 or 5 times up the side of their centre halves, and it wasn't just the forwards. It's our midfield players and our wide men have got in good areas, and we haven't picked the final pass out. I think young Lewis has put an unbelievable ball across the face of the goal late on, and we need someone to come in on the back post and just rifle it home, and we've not done that. So again, it's decision making. It's something that I said earlier. Is I just think we're on the back foot too much at times. We need to react to it, and we need to be on the front foot, and we need to make sure that we, when the ball comes in the box, we're on the front foot, we're reacting to the ball coming in the box, rather than being on the back foot and waiting for something to happen.
In that respect, it mirrors last week's game. We saw plenty of a ball at Hampton, but they looked the more likely side around the box than we did.
I think you're right, David, but I think that probably goes back to probably half a dozen games this year, even more. We've certainly been in a lot of games. If you go back to the Hemel Hempstead game away, you go back to the Wealdstone game away, just games already this side of Christmas. We've had 4 defeats now, and every single one of them games has been by the odd goal, but we've been in the games. We've had lots of possession, as you say, but we haven't quite been clinical enough in the final third. Is that down to decision making? Is that down to thought process? Is that down to not just being good enough? And they're all the things that have let us down probably over the last couple of weeks, because we're always asking the defenders and the goalkeeper to keep clean sheets for us, and we can't keep relying on Dean Snedeker to make 3 or 4 saves as he had to do from that corner. because we put ourselves under pressure, and if we don't put teams to bed, the only time we did it was the first half against Hungerford, and we didn't react to that at half time. And we've got to be better than that. We have to be bigger, we have to be better, we have to be braver. I asked them at half time to be brave on the ball. If we're going to make mistakes, let's make them in the right areas. But we got in some really good areas today, and that final decision making just wasn't good enough. And the decision making leads to us not scoring goals. And forever we've been at this football club. The goals have always flowed, and at the moment we seem to be struggling to score goals. But have we got players in the right areas? Is the delivery of the cross well enough? I think in the first half, if you look at Jamie Fielding, he's probably got in 5 or 6 really good areas, and we've not delivered the ball in the box. So it's not right that we just blame the forwards, but we've got to get the delivery into the box. We've got to get balls into an area, and it gives the forwards a chance to score goals. And if we're not doing that, then we're always going to be under a little bit of pressure. But we've got in some great areas first half, didn't deliver the ball. Got in some really good areas second half, even further into their 18-yard box, and we failed to put a real good finish on, or a good crossing, or even get a shot on goal. I think the only shot we really got on target in the second half was when Jefferson came on.
You've got a couple of youngsters in from Watford on loan on Friday. Due to an injury to Tom Bender, we saw one of them at left back today, Lewis Gordon. How do you think he got on?
I thought he did really well. He looks nice and calm on the ball. He's got a great touch, got good vision, and what I like about him when he does his defending, he stands up. And I thought he had a really good debut. It's just a shame that obviously we've come away losing the game, but I think his contribution was really good. He got in twice in the first half in really good attacking areas for us, and put 2 good crosses in the box. We didn't have anyone on the back of it or on the end of it, and they're all the things, as I said, we've got to keep looking and keep working and keep trying to put right, because we've got some great decisions today in terms of the areas we've got in, and maybe 1 or 2 balls went into good areas, and we probably didn't have the bodies in the box. So we seem to be doing a lot of good work outside the 18-yard box, but we're not doing the stuff inside that's going to create goals and score goals. I mean, we brought Steve Conroy in, and he's worked tirelessly with the forwards on Tuesday and Thursday night last week, and it's just a shame because I think all of us didn't see the reaction today, what we've been working on, and that's a shame, because some of the stuff that we worked on was really good, really positive. The boys look.
Okay, a bit of a technical blip there, so we're restarting it from wherever we finished. Couple of injuries here. We mentioned Tom Bender. What's the situation with him? And of course, there's also no David Long King today.
Well, Tom hasn't done a lot all week. It's just been rest really, and we'll assess him again on Tuesday night and see where we are with him. And David Long King's just had a family issue that he's have to go and deal with. So we lost him yesterday morning, which is again it's a bit of a blow because we was a little bit light with Tom and David both missing. So kindly obviously spoke to Watford, and they did the deal, which was good. And as I say, I think the lads had a good debut today. He's certainly got in some really good areas, put some good balls in. But it was a tough baptism for him in terms of coming in, and the performance in the end just hasn't been good enough to get a result for us.
Right, there's one final thing actually. 2 teams below us, Chippenham Town and Hungerford Town, both got well and truly thrashed today, which helps us with a goal difference. But we can't rely on the other teams, can we, to keep slipping up like that? And we've got a tough one next week away to Bath City.
Exactly, David. As I say, we can't rely on the teams below us to keep slipping up, because we have to be bigger and better than that. It's okay saying they've got beat today, but if we picked up 3 points today, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Because we'd just take ourselves a little bit further away from them. For me, when we play Maidstones and we play Weymouths and we play these teams, we seem to be enjoy them games. But unfortunately, when we've played the Wellings and the Hungerfords and the Tunbridges, we haven't really reached the levels that is expected from me and from the team. Really, I think some of the senior lads were a little bit disappointed after the game. From the reaction is that we've not picked anything up, and we have no divine right, as I've said to you all season. We have no divine right in this league of winning any game of football. You have to earn the right to it, and draws. Okay, they're not going to be the answer. I mean, wins is what we need, and we need 3 points every single time, because the 3 points is massive. But we can take it out. The fact is that they're going to hurt Chippenham, they're going to hurt Hungerford, and they're going to come bouncing back. So we've got to make sure that we go to Bath next week and we pick something up, because we've got a tough month in terms of Bath, Oxford, Havant and Chippenham then. So we've got to make sure when we go to Chippenham that we've put some daylight between us and them, and the pressure's going to be on them to try and beat us rather than us having to go there. No, we've got to beat them. So But it's a long way to go, as I keep saying, but we've got to pick results up. We can't keep saying there's a long way to go and then lose a game, long way to go and we lose a game, because it doesn't help the situation we're in. I think, I'm fully aware of that. But we've got to look at the fact is that can we go and drag some of the other teams in and around us? Can we go and drag Braintree and Tonbridge and all that back into it and to make it a 6-horse race rather than a 3-horse race? Because the more teams that are involved in it, the more pressure on the rest of the teams. The one thing, as I've said to you, we've been in a relegation battle all season. So I've been aware of that. We can't keep changing the team, trying to look for the perfect answer. But we have to be better in some games than what we are. We have to be ruthless in some games. We have to be clinical in them games. And if we did that, then we'd win more games than we lose. We haven't scored enough goals this year. And we're always continuously putting pressure on our back 3, back 4. And that really is really, for me, is the story of the season. We've not scored enough goals. We've not put teams to bed early enough or quick enough. And we've always struggled because we haven't put teams to bed and we're always on the back foot.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. As mentioned there, next Saturday event, away to Bath City, kick-off at Twerton Park in National League South is at 3 p.m. In the meantime, I'm going to go home, get the sledgehammer out and sort out this camcorder.